How do we normally start this out? Let's see. Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to the Sweating Palms podcast. I'm your host, Jenna.
I'm Kara.
What? Where's Montana? What is this? Who are you?
Kara, cracking skulls.
Oh, snap. Kara's here.
Oh.
Kara, I've known you for a while, like 10 years-ish.
Yeah, like, we're getting old now.
I know.
When I think about, how long it's actually been since we were in high school, it's a lot longer than I think it is.
It's been,
Oh, man.
I know. I was trying to think today because I said, I knew I was going to have Kara on the podcast today. And I'm trying to figure out how this intro is going to go. And I'm like, I would like to tell people how long we've known each other. And then I had to stop and I'm like, wait a minute. How long have we known each other? And I'm like, well, shoot, it had to be back in like 2010. So we've known each other for 10 years, which is freaking crazy. We're officially getting older. One of us will reach 30 within the next 3 years.
That's fucking horrifying.
It's you. You're going to be 30 in 3 years.
Are you? Okay, you're younger than me.
I'm 1 year younger than you.
Okay, I was trying to remember. So I was like, I don't think she graduated with me.
No.
I should be able to remember that. There was like 12 people in my graduating class, so.
Same. Yeah. No, you graduated a year before me, and I think the only reason I end up remembering that is because I came back and I was like, man, I miss Kara so much. Nothing is the same without her here. And here we are. You're like one of my 4 friends that I have that is remaining.
Yeah.
And you're doing wonderful, and you have a beautiful little gal.
Yeah.
And she's a little spitfire.
Yeah. Oh my God, she's nuts. She's so cool, and she's just totally insane. But yeah, like how crazy to think, just in this total different point in my life. I'm all soft now. Like being a mom makes you so soft. I cry so much. Holy shit. Like,
oh yeah. You're like, did you just throw up for the first time in the toilet?
Yeah, oh my God. No, okay, so today, actually, right before I came over here, I went on a walk with her, and she said the word creepy for the first time, and I was like, oh, my heart was like happy, and I thought it was so funny, but we were like walking in the woods, and it's this place that we've walked so many times, and she was like, this is creepy. And I was like, what did you just say? Like
you're so cool.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, what the hell?
I get it. No, I cry all the time. Oh, what was it the other day? I was on that beanbag in Cheyenne's room, and I was just exhausted,
Yeah.
And I'm wiped out, and I'm like laying there waiting for them to get a drink of water or something. And she looks at me and she goes, Mom? And then she's like talking to me about something, and she stops and she goes, Oh, I'm going to go get my water. You stay right there. I'm going to come back and cuddle you.
Oh,
you're so cute.
No, and I'm sure she said it just fucking like that because she's so like cute and sassy. Like,
you stay right there.
She has like all of your sass, but in this tiny little adorable body. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, so is that real?
That's so funny.
Oh, that is so sweet. Holy shit.
It's really sweet. Oh. And Cheyenne is just like
such a weirdo. I love her so deeply.
She's wonderful, and she loves to wait until it's like 9 o'clock at night and she needs to go to bed. And then she's like, Mom, can you come in here and we can talk for a minute? I'm like, yeah. Like, I wish we could do this any other time than when I'm exhausted, but sure, yeah. And she's like, oh, and she'll just talk to me about her day. Like, that's when she wants to really connect, and it's really cool to have that.
That she seeks you out like that is really awesome, that you don't have to, like, fish for it. She's like, yeah, I mean, it's at this, like, not great time. But she's like, I want to talk to my mom right now. It's like, that, really cool. I think that's, like, the coolest shit. And I can only just fucking pray and hope that I have a relationship like that with Lyra. Like, Oh my God. That's the dream to me. It's just like, if your kid wants to talk to you, especially she's 7 years old right now. Like, I feel like the age where they're starting to be like, I'm just going to like do my own thing. And I'm trying to figure out what's cool and what's not cool. And parents are out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So if like, she wants to talk to you.
No,
that's cool.
It's really nice. And I feel like we've kind of established this relationship of like trust, which is really good because she'll tell me things that like, she's like, oh, this person told me not to say anything, and I'm like, perfect.
Hell yeah,
you
girl.
always come to me. You always talk to me. I am always a safe person.
Especially if someone tells you not to tell anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, it's always like, oh, like Dad said not to tell that he gave us a donut or something.
Yeah.
Or like, oh.
But that's the seed, right? Like, that's the seed that will blossom into when she's a teenager and she like wants to go to a party, or like her friends are like, sneak out with me. And she's like, I'm going to tell my mom, like, I'm going to tell her where I'm at or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's how Jessie was with her mom. And like, I idolize like their fucking relationship. Like, Jessie would be like, I'm going to go to a party and I'm going to smoke pot. And T would be like, well, just like keep in touch. Like,
be safe. If you need help, you get in touch with me.
Yeah, like, just tell me where you're at. Tell me if you're going to be leaving. Like, you know, just be safe. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the best way for me to help you be safe is to just know what you're doing.
Yeah, I need to know where you're at if I need to fucking come and find you. Holy shit.
Oh, man. Yeah, I get really nervous. And
Jenna's titties are like out right now. The bra is coming off.
Oh no.
My God.
We don't have to give commentary. I just had to unsnap.
Yes, what are you talking about?
Free
You can't
the titty movement.
You just can't take your bra off like that and expect me not to just sit here and not say anything about it. Obviously, I'm gonna say I'm not Montana. I'm not used to you whipping your titties out. Okay, Jenna?
I'm sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine. Like, I came here without a bra on. I was ready to chill, you know?
They would have been just caged all day, and I just needed to release some of that.
Yeah, it's fucking 9 o'clock. You got it's time to take your bra off.
It's time. It was time. Thank you. Anyway, so you're Kara, and you're a great friend of mine, and you have a beautiful...
sweaty?
My palms are always sweating. A wonderful, wonderful, darling, dear friend of mine, named Cheyenne after you.
Oh my God. Such an honor.
I just love you. And you're getting married, and you have asked my children to be your little flower children.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I'm so, so honored. She definitely made me cry. Jesus. I'm so glad you didn't do that on the podcast, because I would have just been a blubbering wrecked.
Oh my
God.
Wrecked.
I'm wrecked.
I'm wrecked.
And yeah, this may be a little jarring for those of you who have listened to the first 4 episodes. First 4 episodes, because Montana has been on there each time. You thought that we were being consistent. You thought that this was your safe zone and you knew what was happening. And it turns out that we're just changing things all willy-nilly.
Wild card.
You don't know what's going to happen next. So here is Kara. Montana is gone forever. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. He's in the other room. He helped us set this up because he's an angel. But he's also very busy, and Kara and I have been talking about starting a podcast for a hot ass minute.
Oh, yeah.
We bond over some similar interests, maybe. We both like murder and burping.
Sorry, I'm burping again. I told Jenna I'm a very gassy person, and it's what's happening. Yeah, but we bond over murder for sure.
We listen to, we're avid listeners of the podcast My Favorite Murder with the lovely Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark.
Hell yeah. Represent
Murderinos. Ooh. Here we are.
Yeah.
And we both, I feel like, have an equal amount of awkwardness.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying earlier, I feel like there's this really specific awkward vibe that Jen and I share. Like, it's like a radio station of awkwardness that we just admit, and everything that
we are on
we do. Yeah.
The same wavelengths
Yeah.
here. And it makes me very happy. So either our listeners and that was my concern, because I know I feel very comfortable because I feel like we match in awkwardness and kind of anxiousness. And I'm like, I wonder how this is going to translate.
Oh my God. Yeah. If they're just going to be cringing the whole time, like The Office, but just like how like that awkward feeling you get when you watch like The Office of like, oh God, like I don't know if I can handle like how painful this is, Yeah. Like,
or maybe,
or maybe it'll be good.
They'll embrace it.
Yeah.
Join us on this fucking roller coaster of.
Yeah. Cause I think really that everybody is extremely awkward and that there are just people that are better at pretending that they don't feel awkward, or they have their like mask that they're angry instead of awkward or whatever.
Or they're perfectionists and it kind of masks this feeling of inadequacy or awkwardness or anxiousness that they do have.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I just really, I don't feel like that's an option for me. I feel like I am just abundantly awkward at all times.
I love it
and
much.
You just like have to be okay with it. You're like, yep, like there's no denying the fact that like, I just tripped over my sandal and I can't say words right, and that
all the time.
I'm just sweating.
Constantly, endlessly dripping sweat. Yes. Truly, my palms are sweating right now.
Yeah.
So here is our intro. Who are we? We're the Sweating Palms podcast. What do we talk about? We talk about kind of this shared experience that Kara and I were just touching on, that we all experience as humans. We all have felt embarrassed. We all have felt afraid. We have all felt anxious or awkward or have had similar heightened experiences that leave us with the sweating palm sensation. So we cover stories such as true crime might be a focus of ours, embarrassing stories, awkward stories, absolutely going to be a focus of ours. I love a good I survived story. We'll do love stories, ghost stories, just a plethora of stories that we have to share. So that's kind of what we're about on this podcast. And I guess we should kind of dig into it.
I just apologize that my voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard.
No. You're just saying that because you're hearing it for the first time. I feel the same way about my own. I'm like, ew, I just sound so... Hearing your own voice is definitely an experience.
Did someone put nails in a blender? Like...
just put that bitch right on.
Yeah.
Hi. Here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that. So, I have a question.
What's your question, Jenna?
I want to know, because I actually truly don't know this. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah. I like hella believe in ghosts.
Okay.
Is your story gonna scare me?
I don't think it will.
Oh.
It's pretty factual. I kept it pretty short because you weren't sure how long yours was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I always feel like it's really short, and then I feel like it kind of also drags on. So,
hey, I'm okay with dragging on.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious because I'm a little on the fence about it. My rational mind is like, oh, most of these things could be explained away. But I've also had some personal experiences that have I'm like, that's hard to rationalize certain things.
Mm-hmm. And that's what really changes your perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is not an explainable thing. This is not a rational thing. Unless I'm literally losing my mind, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
kind of the same thing.
Same thing. So today, I was going to tell a story because it's not a personal story. My personal story I couldn't have gotten too terribly deep into. It is a story, though, that my mom has an experience with.
Ooh.
So, and it's very famous in our area.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm super interested
Yeah.
then. I don't know, ghost stories from our area other than, ones I've heard from my own stories, ones I've heard from my friends. So
right.
This is going to be good.
So this is the story of the St. Ignatius Hospital in Colfax. Have you heard of it?
No, I know nothing about it.
Oh, that's really very interesting to me. because it is a pretty like famously haunted area. They did ghost tours a few years ago.
What?
Yeah. And now it's officially shut down. I'm not sure why. There's some good history there, and I have kind of a fun story. So, St. Ignatius is in Colfax, Washington, and it opened in 1892. Early on, the nurses there treated patients in a wooden building that's on site there because the construction wasn't done, and the construction didn't finish until 1894. So there was a good 2 years of construction there. It's like this old brick building, very haunted looking. It's real creepy. My mom went there and has some freaking creepy pictures.
Oh, pictures are the worst.
Pictures are the worst, and we are going to have those pictures on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter as we go on, like when this episode's released in 2 weeks. Some creepy pictures. And there's been plenty of people who have kind of experienced a lot of these paranormal happenings here.
Yeah.
In 1918, as you may well be aware, since we are currently in a pandemic, we had the other pandemic.
I haven't done my research like you have.
Oh, yeah. So in 1918, the Spanish flu was a particularly deadly strain of the flu. I want to say 1 million or like, oh man, I wish I could remember. This will be like a corrections for next time. I'll actually count the actual number of people who died from the Spanish flu. But there were at least 100,000 people who died from the Spanish flu in America between 1918 and 1920 because it lasted 2 years. This sickness was particularly bad. And when I say it was particularly bad and deadly, like it was a pretty violent death.
It is estimated that about 500 million people, or 1/3 of the world's population, became infected with this virus. The number of deaths was estimated to be at least 50 million worldwide, with 675,000 occurring in the United States. So, yeah.
A lot of people died. And our U.S. population was far less 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It was a good deal of people who passed. And this one was particularly violent, too, in the way that they passed, because it wasn't like, I don't really know what dying from the flu looks like because I haven't like been around anyone who's died of the flu. But the people who died of the Spanish flu would end up bleeding from their ears and
Holy
eyes
shit.
and nose.
Oh, that's horrifying. Jesus Christ.
It was terrible. And my grandma said, like you'd be lucky if you were like, you know, if one of the families on your block didn't completely die, that people were giving their babies to other families because they knew they were infected and they wanted to save their children. It was terrible.
Oh my God.
Terrible. So they were treated at St. Ignatius Hospital, as well as, you know, every hospital throughout the U.S., where at least 1,000 died and like entire families would be wiped out. And the thing about St. Ignatius is that they relied on donations and the payments from their patients, and they had no government assistance, which most hospitals apparently do.
Yeah.
And this ultimately led to them not having enough money to keep up on maintenance and making sure that they were keeping their facilities up to date and clean and well maintained. So that eventually led to the closure of the facility in around 1966. From then on until 2000, it was a assisted living facility.
Oh, God.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah. And then in around 2000, they officially closed. And apparently now it is, according to my notes, now haunted AF. It is super fucking haunted, and there have been so many accounts. So
I feel so bad for those poor old people that got stuck in a fucking haunted ass hospital. Like, oh boy. That's fucked.
It's so bad. They'll be like, "Hi, I'm seeing people in the middle of the night," and they're like, dementia,
to the
Donna,
dementia unit with you. Solitary
you're
confinement.
nuts. Nope, they were just seeing dead people for real.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And so, yeah, people would report seeing, like, shadow figures. They would report, like, cold spots, like, taps on their shoulders, or feeling paralyzed.
Huh.
Yeah, they would experience sudden bursts of anger. They might hear voices. And then of course, for those who are like ghost savvy, they have like, they're picking up like EMF frequencies. And so what I did when I was researching this, because I don't know if Google's just not used to me searching ghost stories yet or what, but it was really hard to find like good information about this. And it turns out that Ghost Adventures did an episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Last year.
Oh, no
it
shit.
was released. Yeah. Last year, Ghost Adventures did an episode. And the host of that is Zach Baggins.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I don't think I've ever seen the show, but I've heard of him specifically.
Did you ever listen to And That's Why We Drink?
Yes.
So I always call him Zach Bagel Bites. And
I don't remember. I didn't hear that, but that's fucking hilarious.
Oh my God. Because Christine is like in love-hate with him.
Oh,
because he's so obnoxious.
He's such a douchebag.
He's such a douche, and she like loves him at the same time, and they call him Zach Bagel Bites. And
Zach Bagel Bites. Okay, let's just refer to him as that from now on.
It's the only thing I can call him. So Zach Bagel Bites takes his crew there, and I actually paid to watch this video because it's on like Travel Channel or something.
Oh, no shit.
So I had to pay YouTube like $2 to watch this fucking...
I hope it was good quality, at least.
No.
Not great.
No, I mean, sure.
Not worth $2.
I mean, I wish I wouldn't have had to pay for it.
Yeah.
And he is very dramatic and douchey, but whatever.
He's like the Joe Rogan of Ghosts.
Literally. He's so douchey. And it's just so corny. I can't help it. Even if I'm I'm on the fence about like ghostly stuff, I for sure don't trust TV productions of ghost hunting, because there's just no way that every time that you go somewhere, you're having these crazy experiences and somebody has like gets kicked by a ghost or something. Like, I just don't believe it. Whatever.
Well, yeah, because they're not going to film an episode where nothing happens.
Right. They have the ability to make sure that something happens.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily trust it. And that's where my kind of skepticism comes into play. But they take their EMF detector into the building and they take testimony of people who are a part of the Colfax Chamber of Commerce. And they're like, yeah, I won't even go into this building anymore. They did ghost tours, and that's why they stopped. They're like, no, we will
Fuck
not.
that job.
Literally, like, leave with people screaming and running out the door, because it's apparently just really intense. So they take their EMF detector in there, and Zach Baggins, apparently it says Zach's name. It says another person on the show, Billy's name, throughout the episode. I think Billy maybe goes off, and he's taking the little box with him, and it says killed, and then he's, oh, who were you killed by? What? Da-da-da-da. And it's just so dramatic. And then it says attic. And so then they go up to the attic and the episode ends or whatever. God. But some interesting things that happened were they had their thermal cameras out and they go into this room and they see something. And of course they have to explain what's going on to the viewer because it doesn't look like shit.
Really?
But they're like, you can see something crouching under this old OR room hospital bed that's still there.
No.
So creepy. And you can see it, and apparently it looks like it's waving. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, sure. I guess I see that. And then, but then they're like, oh, the guy who, like, it was close to or whatever, he's like, I can't move. I can't move my fingers. It feels like something's got me. I can't believe anything I see on TV because it just seems
fucking actors.
Especially dramatic. Yeah. And he's like, if you're here, like, come to me or whatever. It does show, though, this, like, little figure walking, like, or appearing to be walking near this guy and, like, by his hand. Like, it almost, like, looked like it was trying to grab his hand.
No.
It was pretty creepy. And then they enter this hallway and they took a picture, and you can clearly in this picture, and who knows, because it's TV, if there was some editing to be done to look like it was a figure, like a person, but clearly it's a fucking person.
Oh, God.
And like they're walking across this hallway, and I'm like, yeah, for sure that's real. And so then they're like, oh, to give it authenticity, we took another picture, and in the other picture, it wasn't there. So this is an authentic piece of paranormal evidence. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, or editing magic, but I will go with that, because in one of their rooms that they went into, maybe mid-episode, they're like, we went in there, and our camera started malfunctioning. And then I got chills, because my mother went there with her friend, and they went the first time and it was all closed. They weren't doing any more tours, but she's walking around and they see some other people there, and my mom's like, oh, we should go ask if we can like go inside. And her friend was like, oh, no. We shouldn't do that because like we'll get kicked off, and we don't want to get kicked off property because it's private property. So they walk around for a while and they check everything out, and when they're ready to go, they go and ask those people. Because they're like, well, they can't kick us out. We're done being here.
That's smart.
I'm like, sure.
That's strategic.
Also, to preface this, my mother is a pretty rational human being. My mom, to this day, does not know if she believes in anything supernatural or not.
Yeah.
I've never seen her be scared. She's never been like, oh yeah, ghosts, woo. Like,
oh my God.
So this was very interesting. So they met this girl who's apparently from Chamber of Commerce or something similar, in charge of taking care of this building in Colfax. And they're like, oh, well, I wish you would have talked to us sooner because we were just boarding up the building. So if you would have, asked us earlier before we boarded it up, we would have given you a tour. And so her friend's like, hey, well, like next time, let us know if somebody vandalizes, like the next time that someone vandalizes this place, let us know. And then maybe you can give us a tour. And she's like, yeah, absolutely.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
She was a ghost.
She was a ghost. And that's the story. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. I actually just got mad at you for 5 seconds before I realized that you were kidding.
No.
It's like, I'm ready to shit my pants, Jenna. You can't do that.
Now it's puckered back up.
Yeah.
So the building inevitably gets vandalized again. This lady gives my mom and her friend a call. They go down there.
Seriously?
Yeah, they get a tour with this woman. I want to say her name's Valerie, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know. Sure, Valerie.
Sounds like a ghost name to me.
Valerie never existed. So they go and take this tour, and a few kind of crazy things happen. But the most notable is that my mom just got a new phone at this time. I remember her being like, oh yeah, my old phone stopped working. It's freaking 5 years old, and smartphones just don't work for that long.
True.
She gets a new one. It's the first time that she's really using it. And they're going through a tour of this hospital, and I want to say it was on the first floor, she said, in one of the first rooms that you go into. And her friend and Valerie, I don't know if that's her name. We're calling her that. We're just going with it.
I like it.
Valerie and her friend are outside of the room, and my mom's like, you know what? I'm going to take a video. I really don't know what to say about this. My mom posted this video on Facebook. Okay, my mom takes a video on her brand new phone that she's never used before. She took a video earlier, I think, of some, maybe the outside of the hospital. She goes to take a video in this room, and her camera starts glitching out, to the point. I am not fucking joking you. I'm not joking. The video's on Facebook, and I'm gonna post it to the group once she sends it to me.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. And I mean not just glitching out a little
fuzzy,
it looks all normal.
Pixelated or whatever, yeah.
It is straight gray, black, blue, yellow,
oh my God.
on a brand new phone in that room. And then every other video that she took was fine.
That's weird.
It was really weird. They also, I think, had an EMF detector, and they picked up some EVPs or whatever in one of the areas of this place. I don't really know. You can definitely hear some noises. I'm a little skeptical about EMF detectors just because it's picking up various radio frequencies.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, you don't know, especially fucking just like phone lines and stuff everywhere. Like, you don't know what it's picking up. I feel like.
Yeah. No, I get it. So I don't know what they're picking up. They could be picking up anything from anyone who's trying to freaking start a podcast or be on an AM radio show or like something. Like, you never know what you're picking up. But it did sound apparently like it sounded like it said one of their names.
Oh, God.
But you could hear us. Supposedly they could hear it pretty clearly on the video that it showed. I couldn't
like while
pick
they're
up
standing
anything.
there, they're looking at this video and hearing this voice or whatever. Or they feel like they're hearing this voice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Yeah. So in that episode of Ghost Adventures or whatever, I can't really take it too seriously, but they had some local dude there who was like, he'd been there multiple times, and the first time he was there, he couldn't feel his legs. And there's this, according to legend, there's a ghost named Michael. And Michael lives in a certain room when he was there, and he was in a wheelchair. And apparently this guy, Jeff, when he was there, he couldn't feel his legs. He's like, my legs feel like jello. And then he would start to feel, air quotes, possessed. And then he felt just irrationally angry and wanted to bash his friend's skull in, apparently, when he left.
God.
I
That's
just
the
don't,
fake shit.
I just,
is
yeah.
straight up the fake shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about it, too. And then he came back for Ghost Adventures, of course.
Oh, of course.
And he goes in there and he crouches down. He's like, yeah, this is where it happened. And he kneels down on the ground. And then he's like, oh, no, it's happening again.
Oh, my
He's like, I can't move my legs.
Oh, my God.
I'm feeling angry. No. Just so dumb. And I'm like, I don't believe that. But it is hard to deny when they said, and it was weird to me that they didn't emphasize like our cameras weren't working in here, because that did happen to my mom. And my mom is not the person to be like, oh yeah, the camera stopped working.
Yeah.
Like, no, she would be like, oh yeah, like we went there and it was cool. And she still, after having that experience, won't be like, there were for sure ghosts there. She's like, yeah, it was a really weird thing. I thought maybe it was like an effect that I didn't know my camera had. Like, she was like not having it. She's like, it was pretty fucking weird.
She's like, that's bullshit. I'm calling Apple.
Literally. She's like, I don't know. It's a new phone. Maybe there's some setting that makes it look like fucking.
God. That's such a fucking mom thing to do. Like,
oh my God.
How do I turn this filter off? I don't know what to do.
Literally. And so, yeah, for a TV show to be like, our cameras stopped working. And it was such a brief time, too. They were like, our cameras didn't work in one part. And I'm like, that's really weird. That was the part that freaked me out, because I'm like, bitch, my mom's camera didn't work.
Like,
that
resonates.
Crazy. Yeah. So that's kind of my story of St. Ignatius. They did tours for a while, but apparently now it's just totally shut down. Especially, obviously, 2020, because it sucks, asshole. But whatever. And I showed Kara the video.
Oh, yeah. That's fucking terrifying, because it is just like, it's like looking at the Matrix, like that weird, like green scrolly thing that like you see in the Matrix, but it's like Technicolor, and oh my God. And the thing that I really didn't like is that for this moment, you hear this panic in your mom's voice as she's trying to like call her friend over. She's like, Jen, come here. You know, and you're like, oh shit, she's kind of freaking out right now. And yeah, like the fact that you said like, this only happened in this room. And then she goes on and takes other videos in different rooms, and the glitching is not happening. So it's not like her fucking phone broke. It was just a
brand new phone.
Yeah, it's a brand new phone. It's not broken. It was fine after they left that fucking room. Mm-hmm. But there's 2 videos where it's just freaking out, and you can kind of see the room behind it, which I hate. Like, I hate that you can kind of see the room, and then there's this weird glitchy shit happening. Ugh.
No, absolutely. It is pretty weird. And at first I was like, oh, like, Mom, are you playing like a joke? Like, you can tell me. And of course, she's not going to be like, oh no, like, oh, it wasn't a joke.
Yeah, no.
Scary, spooky. And she's like, no, like, I thought there was like some weird effect on my phone there. I thought there was some weird filter that was applied and I was checking, but I didn't change anything from it from the next time that I took a video and everything was okay. So pretty crazy. St. Ignatius is absolutely like a place to experience. Apparently, hopefully they open it up again for ghost tours because it's pretty weird. And I'm really excited too that this opens us up a lot, I think, to talk about some other supernatural type of happenings that maybe we've both experienced.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But you have a story.
Yeah, I have a story. This is like my personal story for sure.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good one. It's a pretty like unique story, I feel like. And it's like, yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster. It's like slightly embarrassing in my current adult self looking back at this. It's definitely one of those like, what the fuck? Like,
I'm such a shitty person.
Yeah, exactly. Such a shitty person. Like, Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. So, yeah, I was probably about like 15 years old when this happened. So, like, pretty, like somewhat fresh teenager.
Yeah. Really just figuring out how shitty you can be.
Yeah. Okay. And so, yeah, freshman year of high school, 15 years old. I was with one of my best buddies at the time, Jesse, and the story starts that we were at my current boyfriend at the time's house, and we actually, like, broke up that day. It's terrible. Jesse was there to witness this breakup, in fact.
Oh, no.
We're, like, fighting and crying. It's like a shit show.
It's just a mess because you're 15 years old.
Yeah. I don't even, like, I can't remember what even happened, but we just got in some huge fight, and Jesse and I end up leaving the house, walking away, and, we're not driving at this point, so we go and catch a bus, and we go downtown, and, I am just full of fucking angst. I am just feeling ornery and just, like, ready to be a shit. Like, I just broke up with my boyfriend. I'm pissed off, and I just don't fucking care,
Yeah. So, I've been there, trust me.
Yeah, like, that's fucking relatable. Hella. If you're a teenager, that's probably how you feel, like, just in general.
Just let me be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. So we go downtown, and we're just, like, are running all around town, and at some point, Jesse is like, I want to go get some socks from the department store.
I remember this.
She's such, like, a responsible, like, she just, like, had it down. Like, she was so responsible and just smart and good.
1 second.
Yeah.
Is this Jesse?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yep. Okay, now I have a proper field of reference on this.
Yeah, this is Jesse. I've known her since middle school, actually.
I remember you saying that. In high school, I remember you saying, like, oh, my best friend Jesse. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jesse wants to get socks because she's very responsible.
Yes. Yeah, and I just broke up with my boyfriend. I was not responsible.
That's okay, me either.
So we go to this major department store in downtown Spokane, and I, like, immediately within walking into this store, I get this horrible idea. I decide that it would be really funny to piss in the dressing room.
That's such a good idea.
Oh my God.
Why doesn't everyone do that?
I don't know. Why doesn't everybody do that?
Why? What happened to you?
Let's talk about it. So I don't tell Jesse this. This is like, I'm like laughing to myself. I've got a big shit-eating grin on my face. I'm like, all right, let's go, boys. And I fucking just, like, I think I just, like, grabbed some random shit off of a rack. I go into the dressing room. I fucking pop a squat. And, okay, I'm, like, wearing overalls. So I have to take off my overalls. I'm, like, squatting on the floor, pissing a big fucking puddle of piss. Not even, like, a little bit of pee on the floor. I took, like, a whole pee on the floor. And then I, like, just I like threw the fucking item of clothing on the ground, and there's like this little table in the dressing room, and I like pull it and set it on top of the pee. But it's just like an end table, so it's not covering the pee. You can clearly see underneath the legs
like this
of the
bitch
table.
Straight pissed in this room.
And I fucking run out of there, and I grab Jessie and I say, we gotta go now. And so she's like, you know, she's like my ride or die. She was just along for the shit every single time. Like, she was always along for this shit. And so I grab her and we go, and we're just like running around. Like, Spokane has all these like weird hallways that like go across the streets in the air, and they connect all the buildings.
Yeah,
and
the skywalks.
Yeah, the skywalks.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, the skywalks. And so we are just like running around the skywalks, running through all these staircases. Eventually, at some point, I tell her what I've done. She's like, holy shit, you weirdo. Like, that's funny.
I can't believe you did that
shit. I can't believe you did that shit. Ha ha. And we're just running around. And yeah, eventually we like meet up with some friend of hers that I'd never met before. And it comes time, like, her mom's coming to pick us up. And so we go down to this street corner where we're supposed to meet up with her mom. And she's on her way to come get us. And we're all just standing there. And all of a sudden, I see this man and this woman like making eye contact with me, walking up to me. And this woman just grabs me. She just grabs me by my fucking arm and starts yanking me away and just says, you're coming with me.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I thought I was being kidnapped. Like, I did not understand what was happening.
Truly so terrifying as a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Like, she just grabbed me and took me away from my friends and like didn't say anything. And, yeah, and so I think, like, she grabbed me, and then I think the man grabbed Jessie and just, like, started escorting us. And it was like 2 blocks away from the store, like a block or two away from the store. Yeah,
you'd gotten pretty far.
Yeah, so they're literally just, like, dragging us down the street, and I'm, like, trying to fight this chick and screaming, like, let me go, because I just, like, did not understand what was happening. She did not tell me what was happening at all. Super illegal.
Right.
And I kind of have this like moment where I remember something that my mom said to me, you know, as the mother of a shithead teenager. She had already had this conversation with me where she was like, if you're ever being arrested, don't say anything except that you want to talk to your mom and that you want to call a lawyer. So I just start screaming that. I start screaming, I want to talk to my mom. I want to call a lawyer. I want to talk to my mom. I want to call a lawyer. And this fucking lady just says, shut the fuck up. And then she's like, you're a disgusting piece of shit. Like, she is fucking verbally abusing me.
Honestly, though, I could see myself today being a security officer and be like, shut the fuck up. But you just pissed in the fucking... You just fucking pissed in our store. And, like, I mean, I'd have to be a lot more, like, petty, I think, to do this kind of stuff, to track you down for 2 blocks. But I'd be like, if some little shithead was, like, screaming, I'd be like, just shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up, okay?
Oh, my God.
You're in trouble. Obviously, you fucking dumbass. But okay. Yes, but I can also place myself into my, like, 14, 15-year-old self and be like, I'm terrified. Yeah. I am kind of coming into this rebellion.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And I'm testing my boundaries and I'm doing all these things, and this fucking adult who obviously has, like, been through this shit. Like, they're like, yeah, great. Good for you for your rebellion. But somebody's going to have to take care of this piss. And I'm already sick of you motherfuckers in downtown goddamn Spokane, Washington, thinking that you can just piss wherever you fucking want. Like, I get it kind of from the adult perspective, but from the child perspective, like, I'm like, that is fucking just scare the shit out of you kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And some strange person, they don't announce who they are, to be like, come with me. Yeah. I have a similar experience, actually, so I'll have to share this on another episode when we co-host again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is really, really scary. And so you're screaming and yelling at them and they're saying, shut the fuck up and please proceed.
Disgusting. Yeah. And so they just like, they just take us back to the store and they just lead us down like deep. Like this is a massive fucking department store and they take us to the basement. They take us like down deep to the belly of the beast. And they take us into this room and I don't know, like at some point she's putting me into handcuffs and they take us down to this room and she fucking handcuffs me to a heater that's turned on.
God.
And so the handcuffs are super fucking tight, by the way, like not like, okay, like they're like so tight that they are like cutting off the circulation of my hands. And then she handcuffs me to this heater and the heater is turned on. And so eventually the handcuffs are heating up and they are burning me. Like they're metal, like they're legit handcuffs and they are burning my fucking skin. And like, they're just like, I don't fucking care. Like,
oh no.
You know, they're like, fuck you. Like, you piece of shit. Like, fuck you. And they've taken, so Jesse had a cell phone at the time. I don't believe that I did. And then, okay, so they took Jesse's cell phone, though, and so Jesse's mom, they take Jesse's cell phone. Jesse's mom is supposed to come pick us up. She shows up to the corner store, and we're not there. She's trying to call Jesse. She can't get a hold of her. And, okay, so put your parent shoes on now. She thinks that we've been kidnapped, because, like, this isn't normal. Like, Jesse,
well, you had a parent expected to come pick you up.
Yeah.
And you were taken away.
Yeah, and we were taken away. Yeah, and so Jesse's mom is like, you know, she's freaking the fuck out. Luckily, this person that we had met up with, who Jesse barely knew, too, actually stayed on the street corner for however long and waited for T and then told T that we had been taken away. And so T went and fucking tracked us down. I have no idea how she found us, honestly, because, like, we were just, like, in the basement of this department store. Right. And she, like, yeah.
How would you know?
She fucking mommed out. She was like,
amazing.
Are you fucking kidding? Like, she's like, my babies! You know?
That's amazing! I love it.
Yeah, so T came and found us. And thank God, because, like, meanwhile, we're in this room. Jessie is, like, she knows that her mom is looking for us. She's like, I need to call my mom and tell her where we are. And they're saying, like, no, you can call your parents from juvie. Like, they are not letting us call our parents. They just keep saying, like, no, you can call your parents from juvie. Like, we're taking you to juvie. You can call your parents from there. Which is just total bullshit. Yeah, like, okay, welcome to real life now. Like, our parents are trying to find us and, like, you're denying them that right.
Yeah.
So T comes down and is like, this is fucking bullshit. You know, game's over. Like, you can't do this. You can't just tell these girls that they can't call their fucking parents. Are you kidding me? Like, and also, who are you? Like, are you guys even cops? No, like, you're not. Like, you are not the police. So then I now have to call my mother, which, so at this point, it's like, I was using that as a threat before, but now it was like my own sentence. I clearly did not want to have to fucking call my mom and tell her what was happening.
Right. Like, hey, Mom, love you. How's it going? Having a nice day? Gardening or something? Yeah. Very nice. You know how I was just spending some time with my friends. Turns out I decided it'd be a good idea to take a piss in this department store's changing room. I'm in some trouble.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, God.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I had to call my mom, and just the amount of disappointment, just sheer disappointment in her voice. You know, she wasn't even necessarily angry. She was just like, what? Like, you're being arrested? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
yeah.
It's like nighttime now. I have to work the next day, and now I have to drive downtown and come deal with this bullshit. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man, the amount of like the mom thoughts I have rolling through my mind right now is like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Why wouldn't I, blah, blah, blah. What can I do to help this kid? Oh my God, just all the mom thoughts. And then, of course, there's like shitty teenage me who's like, yeah, fuck you guys. My fucking boyfriend.
Fuck you and my boyfriend.
Fuck you and my boyfriend.
Yeah, bullshit.
I'm an adult, basically.
I'm 15.
I only have 4 more years or something. I don't know math. I'm a teenager. I remember just being like, fuck my parents. Fuck the authority. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm smarter than everyone.
I'm going to pee on the floor.
Yeah, because that's what rational people do. And then as an adult, you're just like, what?
Why?
What are you doing? Baby, no.
Please stop. Just stop. Go back home and listen to your music.
You'll be fine. Yeah. Ride out the angst. Get a journal, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pee on the journal.
Pee on the journal. If you must pee, please. Like a toilet is preferable. The journal will do. The journal will do. It's okay. Oh, so what did your mom do?
Okay, yeah. So my mom, yeah, she comes down. I mean, yeah, it's basically game over at that point. She shows up and she just like calls them out. Like they're trying to tell me like, we're going to charge you with malicious mischief. And my mom was just like, we'll see you in court. Like you have no ground to stand on. Like,
other than you found pee in your fucking dressing room.
Well, okay. And so my thing is as soon as they pulled me off the street, I started being like, I needed to go to the bathroom and I couldn't find it. And I had an accident. You know, so I just like took the denial card.
I'm a baby.
That high horse.
Yes.
Fucking came right out. And I was just like, no, I pissed myself. And so they didn't have any kind of case. Like they had video surveillance of me running away from a dressing room laughing, and they had pee in a dressing room. But it's illegal to pull people off the street. It's illegal to arrest someone. Like you have to read people their Miranda rights. You have to, and they were security guards, so they didn't actually have any. They're not allowed to actually leave the department store. Yeah. Like, you know, like you can't actually.
Shit, I wish I would have known that.
Yeah, they can't leave the store to arrest someone. They can only actually take someone in if they're still inside of the store. Yeah. Yes. I
wonder how that changes my story that I'll eventually tell.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's juicy. Yeah. So my mom knew I wasn't actually gonna, if anything, like they might have tried to find me with the damages, but they didn't actually have a case. And I don't think they understood how young we were. I think they might have thought we were older or something like that.
Sure.
I don't know. But, yeah, so it all just kind of fell apart. Like as soon as my mom showed up, they just let us go because they knew what they did was like, what I did was shitty.
Yeah, certainly.
What I did was shitty, but also handcuffing me to a heater. Like I had
That's fucked.
Like I had bruises like all over my arms from the woman like grabbing me so tightly, and I had like burned, like I had like my wrists were all fucked up from the handcuffs, and it was just like what they did was legal. Okay, so then I go home. I'm grounded for life.
Right.
And so I go home and I get ready for bed, and I just throw on this t-shirt. I legitimately did not think about what this t-shirt said on it.
I'm so excited. Okay, go.
This t-shirt was a gift from my friend who shares a similar sense of humor to me. That is very strange.
She don't say.
Yeah, she gave me this t-shirt that says, "Peeing your pants is the coolest."
No! No! I'd be pissed. If your mom wasn't pissed, I don't know. Because I'd be like, fuck you!
Yeah. So I go to bed and I wake up the next morning, still got the t-shirt on, and I go upstairs. My mom's sitting there and she sees the shirt, and I still just like have not registered what I've done. Like, legitimately, I'm that absent-minded as a person.
Right.
And so she reads my shirt and just goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I just like look down and realize what I've done. Just like the shit icing on the piss cake, like, you know?
I love it. That's so good.
And so that's the first time I was arrested.
So I'm really glad that we did this, and I think that our first episode has been so wonderful. I'm really looking forward to our next one.
Yeah, same.
For sure. And you'll be seeing much more of Kara. I hope that you enjoy her lovely dulcet tones, because you'll be hearing them at least sometimes, for sure. And now I guess we can announce that you can expect a rotation of co-hosts, and I will not go into too much more detail about that. Thank you for listening. You can search for the Sweating Palms podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Sweating Palms Pod, or Twitter at sweating_palms. Thanks for listening, and have a good